Welcome back. So if we have a look at the backend right now and the object that we are sending back and forth, it's this backend customer business object right here. And that actually has a list of int values called address IDs. Now we need that inside the Angular application as well. So we're going to change our model right here into actually having that available in the customer model. And the customer model is on the customer shared right here. There we go. So there we're going to add a new one. Addresses is not enough. We also want the address IDs right here. Now the difference between these two is that this is just going to be a number array where the other one is the actual address. So this guy is just going to be a list of all the IDs and actually not the information about the addresses, where this is going to be the information about the actual addresses inside there. And they both make sense. Sometimes you need all the information and sometimes you only need the IDs. So that kind of defines how much data you want to send over the wire, right? So now we have this address IDs available as well. And let's just for now make it something you can decide if you want to use, because then we won't get any errors right now. So now we have the address IDs right here. What we want to do is kind of have the address IDs inside this guy instead of the actual addresses, right? So here we're going to end up having address IDs instead of this guy. So we have to get that list of IDs somehow. And let's just do it the wrong way first. So we'll make a let right here, or let's just make it a constant because it's not going to change. And that's going to be called address IDs like this. And that's just going to be an empty array for now, right? So this is going to be the list of addresses. And where do we get the IDs? Well, we just got them back right here. We just console logged that they were inside this guy, right? So we'll just push them on top of the address right here by getting the IDs. There we go. So instead of console logging this guy now, we actually say, when you're done creating this guy, can you please just grab him and take the ID and put it inside this list of addresses right here. Sweet. Now we need to, of course, take this list of IDs and put them inside this guy. There we go. So now it should work. Now we're sending over the list of IDs actually. Now the reason it's complaining is it actually also wants a list of addresses right here. But let's actually go and change that so that's also optional. So I can either decide to have a list of address IDs, or I can also decide to have addresses or not have addresses. That should actually fix that problem. Now I should be able to create the customer, and there we go. Let's try and do this again and see what happens. So it seems to be up and running again. Let's try and go back to our code and create a customer right here and see what we send to the backend. There we go, and let's just go to network, clear everything, do a send. Oh, I need to add this guy. Do a send right here, or save. There we go. Now we're sending an address, and notice a problem here. We're creating a customer. We're creating the address and we're creating the customer. So everything looks fine. So now our customer should actually have the address. Does he? Does he? Does he? Let's have a look. There's the customer. Still no address. What's wrong? Let's try and have a look at the actual request we're sending to the backend, because it actually still makes sense and we will fix it. This is the post request for the address, right? He's sending over the payload. He's getting back a response, and that's actually got an ID. That looks fine. Let's try and have a look at the customer. So here we have the customer. We are sending over the payload and we're sending over an empty address ID. Why? Why isn't the ID in here, right? Let's try and jump back to the code. Because we are setting the ID right here. Why is it empty? Because we are running linearly. We're just taking line by line here. So that means that this guy is now created, and then we are sending this request for each address we want to create. But at the same time, while this is actually being sent asynchronously, we're just creating this request down here and sending it, but right now we're sending it with an empty list of IDs. No, because they're not pulled out yet, they're not created yet. So because of the asynchronous way of working, we need to figure this out in the next lesson. See you next time.